Welcome to Make a Path Presents. Today we're going to do another Fear of the Walking Dead Q&A. Now, I asked you guys for questions on Instagram, and this is something new I'm going to do, so you can also find links to my social media accounts in the video description, and you can also find a general set of rules in the video description to kind of keep it somewhat in order, you know? Picking the questions. I'm going to do that with social media every now and then over the summer and test it out. Not always on Instagram, but Twitter here and Instagram here and Facebook here. So I'm going to mix it up somewhat. So check out those links. Now let's jump right into the questions. Librahim Kadik. I try. Do you think the captain of the boat is good or bad? Bad because he's separating families. I don't care what that other guy says about, oh, he has a good heart or whatever he said. If you're separating families, you're a bad guy, in my opinion. Jack Loss 0812. Do you think Nick will become the Rick for Fear? I don't see that. Maybe the Daryl. I could see that. J Parker 43. Why does Strand have to be gay? I don't think he has to be gay, but I think they decided to make him gay for whatever reason. Seam Muso Beef 24C. Wow, I suck at these names. Do you think the whole Strand is gay thing is because, or forced, because we have Tara Aaron? Okay, now you're talking about gay characters in the main show. You know what? Listen, this is the way I see it. I know, this whole gay fiasco blew up, and I didn't even cover it in the review, mostly because I do not sit there and go, wait a minute, why the fuck is that character straight? You know what I mean? Like when we get Rick and Shane as main characters and they're talking about chicks, I don't immediately go, whoa, hold on. Why are they not gay? So I don't do that for straight. They make them gay, and as long as it's not forced in there, you know what I mean? That is one thing I do not tolerate. I don't tolerate anything being forced into entertainment. I think religion, politics, if it's a political, movie, whatever. I'm trying to say this without saying it the wrong way, but I don't believe anyone should force agendas into entertainment. If they want to make a cast of all white characters, I don't think anyone should stand up and go, put a black guy in there, put a gay guy in there. If there's a reason creatively, everything's not always about racism or hating gays or loving gays or pushing an agenda. If there's a creative reason for why they do what they do, it's entertainment. Leave them the hell alone. You know what I mean? And I know that's going to be misinterpreted with some of you, but that's just how I feel. I personally don't care if he's gay, as long as he's a cool character. Gay, straight. I don't care if he's sucking on a unicorn's horn, Fuck it. Shane Wills ZZ. Do you think Connor, the leader of the group that took Travis and Alicia, will be the main villain for this season? Yeah, for most of the season at least, N. Mercer 3. Do you think our main cast will end up staying in Mexico for the long haul, or do you make it back to the U.S.? If they're going close to the border, it's kind of hard to say, because if they're just bouncing back and forth eventually once everything collapses, I don't really think it matters, Connor. How long do you think it will take for Maddie to lose control and kill a human? Well, in the last episode, she stabbed that dude with the crowbar, right? So and he's going to die. Chances are he's going to die. So I guess she already lost her shit and stabbed that dude. Southside X. Will Alicia be the first to die? That's interesting. I think right now, if I would have to weigh it, I think Alicia is number one on my hit list for one of the main cast to die. Chrisman Awa. Who's your favorite character? Right now, Nick. Should Morales show up in Fear the Walking Dead? Hells to the no. David Evan Trone. Knowing that we will eventually get a time skip to be chronologically with The Walking Dead, do you see Fear the Walking Dead stopping at a big community faster than in The Walking Dead or in the comic? Please keep up the great fucking videos. Thank you very much. You know what? I, right now, do not believe eventually it's going to catch up with The Walking Dead. Listen, I'm not convinced just yet. It could, it might, but I'm not convinced yet. You're asking if they're going to stop at a place? That's hard, because do you want them to? It'll be just like the main show at that point. I want them to stay on the move for as long as possible at this point. The Walkin' Des. Unlikely weird question. Could, at a later date, on the radio, that Alicia could get a bit of Glenn. No, sorry, I don't know why it was hard to read that, but I don't think he's going to pick up Glenn and Rick's radio transmission. I don't even know if it'll reach across the U.S. like that. No. Also, do you think we'll steal storylines from the comic? No. If they're making this show, stand on its own, stealing from the comic storylines shows that you don't have confidence to create an original piece that's not attached to the main show or to the comic book. Posh with Amy. Dang, I meant Maddie. What is she hiding from her past? You know what? you don't have another comment there, so I don't know what you're talking about, but I don't believe she's hiding anything from her past, but she does have some messed up stuff in her past. I think that's just stuff that she wants to forget about or she moved on from. I don't think she's hiding anything. She might be, though. Ryphil 313. Do you think it's too early for a major character death as this point? At this point? Yes and no. I think that by the end of this season we'll be ready for it, but before then I think, yeah, it's too early because we're not that attached to them yet. Tommy Toon, do you think the second half of the season will be in Mexico? If so, how do you want it to play out? Last episode we seen the border with helicopters. You know what? Here's the thing. You're talking about it being contained or overrun. We want it to be overrun, right? Because if there's some kind of containment, I feel like the story's going to get stale. We're going to be back in season 1 in a safe zone. No, just no. I want everything to fall apart, and I want them to build it up from the ground up at that point, And I don't know about it taking place in Mexico. I don't think this is something that, in my opinion, they might stay there the whole time or for a number of seasons, but right now I don't see that. I see them staying on the move. Piers Devil, do you think Fear the Walking Dead will catch up to the timeline of the current season of The Walking Dead? No, right now I do not believe it's going to catch up. Matt Dyruda, who do you think is the equivalent of Rick in Fear the Walking Dead? This is a good question. It's a good question to end on. And I apologize for messing up so many of the names. They're hard to read on Instagram when you're trying to go fast. Who do I think is the equivalent of Rick in Fear the Walking Dead? This is a hard one because with Nick in Fear the Walking Dead, we woke up with him in this story like we woke up with Rick in this story, kind of, sort of. Well, Rick was alive a little bit, and then we woke up with him. But with Rick, we followed him somewhat, you know what I mean? He was without his family. We went through that search for his family with Rick Grimes. And I think that's why we have a stronger bond with Rick Grimes in the beginning of that story than we do with Nick in the beginning of Fear the Walking Dead. Because, right now he's my favorite character. He's one of the cooler characters, but that has a lot to do with the actor's charisma. It has a lot to do with some of the characters' background. I mean, I think he would be a better character if they tweaked the junkie aspect a little more or utilized it a little more. I still feel like they were like, hey, he's a junkie, and then when it's convenient for him not to have any physical symptoms or psychological symptoms of being a junkie, they were like, let's cut it, cover him in guts. Wasn't that cool? We have a junkie. I feel like they underplayed that, you know what I mean? But anyway, because we didn't follow him through this search, or we just weren't with him, I don't know, we lost some attachment there, some connection. Even though, he's still a cool character, he doesn't feel like the main character. Travis doesn't feel like the main character. Neither does Maddie. Not to me, anyway. To you guys, they might, but none of them, at this point, feel like the main character. I think the family as a whole feels like the main character. You get Travis, Madison, Alicia, Chris, and Nick. They feel like the main family, the main group we're going to be following. With that said, it becomes problematic now because I feel like they are developing those to a point, or they started out with that little mini group, that family, and they kind of boxed themselves up because now you have this family where they're building them up where it's hard to kill off any of those family members. I don't see any of them dying this season, which means one of them might die, like Alicia. I think it would be powerful. It will show that this show is not playing any games. If one of the characters in that family die this season, I think that would be a twist. I wouldn't see it coming because right now I feel like everyone in the family is safe. It's like the CW where you got all these characters, and they're all in dangerous situations, but none of them ever die. And we lose that tension. We don't get worried about them anymore, There's a lot of shows that are plagued with that problem, and the reason is you need to build a character that has charisma, that is a fan favorite, and fans love them, and then you can kill them. You know what I mean? You get your fans thinking they're gonna go the long haul, and you kill them. Like right now, I think Chris is gonna go at least to the end of season 2, maybe season 3 or 4. Same thing with Nick and Madison and Travis. I think they're going to go the long haul. If in that episode, when they boarded the boat, in that most recent episode, now I'm not saying this is cool, but this would have shocked the shit out of us. It probably would have been a game changer for Fear the Walking Dead if they came up there and they were like, "We need you to start the boat, Travis," and or Travis was like, "I can hotwire the boat. I just need whatever," and he's like, "Listen, Travis, get up right now and hotwire the boat." And if Travis, for whatever reason, he pulled the gun on Chris, if he just shot him in the fucking head right there, just ended his shit, it would have blown the audience away. They would have been like, "Oh, this is not the show I thought it was. No one is safe." I think that truly would have been a game changer, but they're not doing that. You see what I'm saying? Because they are kind of safe. I am almost willing to bet money right now that that maybe that family won't, no one in that family will die by the end of the season. It makes it difficult to draw the connection with them and be afraid for them. You get what I'm saying? So I think that's a problem. And what they're going to do is, I feel like they're going to bring characters into the show like Connor and Jack and Jake and Alex. They'll bring these characters in. With Jake and Alex, we got attached to them with the Flight 462. They'll bring these characters in, and then they'll start killing characters off. And the main group, the main family, will still stay safe for the most part. They're not going to kill off, what are there, 5 characters in the main family? They're not going to kill off 4 of them this season. No way in hell. So we know the majority is safe. They might kill 1. That's what I'm saying. 1 might be on the chopping block. Might be, but they'll never kill more than 1 this season because they're investing too much in the characters. You can almost see how much they're investing into these characters, which is, again, it's avoidable if you write the story a different way and you insert different characters to where those are in your safe group, but it's a trick. Those are characters you were killing off, but you made them feel like they were in the safe group. I think that is where some of the really, really fine-tuned creative writing happens, is where you insert those safe characters, but you fooled the audience. They're not safe at all. And that's what really draws us in and gets us afraid for the characters, because then we're like, I hope they don't kill Nick. I mean, Nick is out there, and I hope they don't kill him. Right now, Nick can go anywhere. Nick can be surrounded by herds and herds of walkers. I don't feel like they'll kill him at all. We need that element where they just pull the rug out from under us. That's kind of like a discussion of how I feel with the characters, because again, with my recent video I'm doing about one of the elements I love about Fear the Walking Dead, I think I didn't even talk about that at all as good as I could have. But I'll put it out there. Hopefully you guys like it as well. Listen, put your thoughts and questions. If you have more questions for Fear the Walking Dead, put those down in the comment box. I'm going to end this now and get working on another video. Thanks for watching. I'm done talking. It's your turn. Subscribe now.